The #1 analyst when it comes to Bitcoin dominance just said altcoin season is around the corner. In breaking news, the Fed just cut interest rates another 25 basis points. Now, this makes it where a millionaire lends out his money, he doesn't earn as much interest. And when you don't earn that much interest lending out your money, you start looking for riskier investments. And this makes what they call altcoin season. If you don't know what altcoin season is, alt season is when the rest of the crypto market outperforms Bitcoin for a sustained period. Now, these phases have been brief in the past, but they can lead to major altcoin rallies, and we're about to have another major rally. That is, according to Ben Cowan. Now, I say he is the top analyst when it comes to Bitcoin dominance. His calls have been spookily accurate, going back years. Let's go ahead and dive into those before we look at Bitcoin dominance. Now, the first of his two predictions he made all the way back in April, and essentially he said, after gold hit a new all-time high, what if the market just cools off for the next 6 to 9 months, and then we pick up closer to 2025? Well, if you'll see here, we put in a new high 7 to 8 months after the mid-cycle top, so well within his 6 to 9 months range. Now, a lot of people called him crazy back then. The second prediction's even more crazy, and this prediction hurt me in my heart. He said back in April 2023 that Cardano was going to go all the way down to 400 sats. That's a unit of measurement priced in Bitcoin, and he was taunted and also attacked by the Cardano community. Well, you know what? He ended up being correct. So I just want to give a big shout out to Ben Cowan. When it comes to predicting how Bitcoin's going to perform against altcoins, there's no one better in the business. But let's get to the post where he said things are going to finally start turning around. Now, excluding stables, Bitcoin dominance has tagged the upper part of his wedge at 65%, which corresponds to his 60% prediction for Bitcoin dominance, including stables here. And here you can see the wedge that he's talking about. This wedge goes all the way back to 2021. So we're talking about a very, very long time frame when it comes to crypto here. Now, Bitcoin dominance has gone up high enough for him as his target has always been 60%, including stables. Now, still a chance dominance goes slightly higher, but I think it makes sense to start planning for this thing to turn around in 2025. That is right. Start planning for altcoin season to turn things around and start adjusting your portfolio accordingly. And one way you can plan accordingly is to check your ETH bag. Now, he pointed out this chart. This is the ETH Bitcoin trading pair, and this red/green line we're looking at is the 50-day simple moving average. And we're looking at the daily time frame. So going back all the way in July, we started tagging against this line and then falling against it ever since. But now we are starting to knock on the door here and getting closer and closer to a breakout. And I do predict once this breaks out above, we're going to sit firmly above the 50-day simple moving average for a relatively long period, maybe even the next 12 months. Now, Gel pointed out altcoin season, only a matter of time. It will happen again. And it looks like the past is starting to rhyme, folks. Here we have our accumulation range 2018 to 2020. And then we had a retest followed by altcoin season. And then if you look here, you fast forward 4 years, 22 to 2024, you'll see that we also traded sideways in this accumulation range, followed by a retest. And after this retest, I also think we're going to see a phenomenal altcoin season. And folks, as Crypto Rover says, do not forget, altcoin season starts after the US election. We saw it in the previous chart. We're seeing it right here. Altcoin season, this line you're seeing right here is Bitcoin dominance. So when Bitcoin dominance falls, that is great for your altcoins. So the great time to be in alts, and right now we're at this phase in the US election. Now, you'll see in the previous cycles, it didn't fall immediately after the election, but it fell shortly after the election, and this is why you got to start preparing your altcoin portfolio. And the last chart I'll show you before we pick some alt winners is the total crypto market cap, excluding Bitcoin, but also excluding Ethereum and also excluding stablecoin. Now, when we go from the weekly to daily, something really starts to stand out. Now, this is called a ascending triangle. More on that in 1 second here. I'll explain exactly, is it bullish, is it bearish? Now, this ascending triangle looks like we have now broken out and we're now trying to confirm a daily candle outside of the ascending triangle here. Now, ascending triangle ultimately is a little bit of a bullish signal. Now, it's not guaranteed bullish, but generally bullish. They typically signal continuation of an uptrend or rarely a reversal of a downtrend. So more often than not, this is going to break to the upside, and I like the odds of this also breaking to the upside here. And so right now you can see total market cap of all these assets minus Bitcoin, Ethereum stable, $655 billion, but we had peaked before and we had peaked strongly all the way up here at $1.1 trillion. So that's at least a 2x from here, and I expect this cycle to probably double or even triple the previous cycle. So potentially 2, 3, maybe even $4 trillion. And now we start seeing some major gains. Now I'm going to give you 3 normie picks here. Now these aren't the deep cuts. These are going to be the coins that if Bitcoin dominance decides to spike up a little bit more, I don't expect these coins to bleed too much against Bitcoin. Now some of the smaller, more risky alts, some of the AI coins, meme coins, if Bitcoin does another leg up, these coins are going to get crushed. The 3 coins I'm about to give you, I feel are a little bit safer plays, and a lot of you probably already have exposure. One, I think Ethereum is going to do pretty well if Bitcoin dominance continues to rise a little bit, but when Bitcoin dominance falls off a cliff, I think ETH is going to be a major winner. Next coin is going to be Chainlink. You can see it is up 4% today. Also, I think if Bitcoin dominance rises a whole lot, we're not going to see Chainlink fall too much further. Seems like it has found a pretty good floor right around this $10 level. So I do expect Chainlink to also perform well if Bitcoin dominance falls off a cliff. And the last coin I think that should do pretty well if Bitcoin dominance continues to rise is Optimism. I think when altcoin season's finally here, this coin's going to have some massive gains. You can see how quickly it fell from $4, and I expect the rise to $4 to be as fast as the fall from $4. And right now, I think you're getting in at a pretty good price near $1.50. So those are 3 stronger altcoins. I wouldn't worry about bleeding too much extra against Bitcoin. But Bitcoin dominance seems like it is starting to fall. Ben Cowan's starting to call it. I'm starting to feel a little bit bullish. We're seeing the interest rates fall. We saw the Trump presidency. I think this is going to be great for altcoins. So don't sleep on these altcoins, folks. I know Bitcoin's king, but I'll see you and your altcoin bags at the top.